Your electric bill is absolutely cooked right now. You want to know how I know? Because I attach my house to your meter to double your payment. Just kidding, it's because you live in America. 2026 in the United States is off to a very calm, relaxed, easygoing start. There's no man-made problems, no shooting ourselves in the foot, no completely predictable consequences of our own decisions. Why am I still lying to you? And your electric bill is no exception. I hope your kids like playing with a hoop and a stick instead of watching Cocomelon on their child iPad, because electricity is getting expensive. So why is electricity in particular so cooked right now? The biggest reason is demand for electricity. For almost 15 years now, electricity demand in the US has barely grown. Utilities could delay upgrades, they could skip any major investments, they could kind of coast. That era is officially over. Have you guys heard of this new thing called AI? Every single human is currently in the process of replacing Google with ChatGPT and making AI videos of John Cena and Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe. And you have data centers, especially those powering AI, popping up everywhere, and they use an insane amount of electricity. So what is a data center? Basically, it's a giant building full of nerd stuff. Computers, servers, cooling systems, backup power. In 2024, data centers already accounted for around 4% of total US electricity use, and that demand is expected to more than double by 2030. And this isn't just a big city thing. This is happening right here in central PA. As of mid-2025, over $26 billion in data center projects have been announced across our area here in central PA. Excuse me, 26 billion, like with a B? Carlisle is getting a massive $15 billion, 700-acre hyperscale campus from powerhouse data centers. Dauphin County is redeveloping a former golf course into a major data facility. Lancaster has multiple projects underway, including a $6 billion site near the Harrisburg Pike. Harrisburg already hosts Tier 3 quality facilities. York County has additional projects planned to support the region's growing digital infrastructure as well. And these projects are here for a reason. We have affordable land, we have major transport routes, we have historically reliable power. But here's the catch to all of this. These facilities don't use electricity like a warehouse or like your local Applebee's would. These run 24/7. They draw massive, constant loads of electricity, and they connect directly to local grids that were never really designed for this level of growth in our electrical footprint. So how does this affect your actual electric bill? Bloomberg just dropped an article saying that electricity costs as much as 267% more than it did 5 years ago in areas near data centers. So that's a lot. But AI is not the only reason demand for electricity is growing. We're also electrifying literally everything. You got electric vehicles, you got electric heat pumps replacing gas furnaces. We have electric stoves, you got new commercial buildings that are going fully electric. And who could forget about the greatest invention since sliced bread? Air fryers. Individually, these changes feel small, but you stack this on top of multi-billion-dollar data centers, especially here in central PA, suddenly the grid has a lot more work to do. Secondly, we got to talk about inflation. Inflation has happened a lot, and not just in the US, across the entire world. But if you can believe it, energy prices have risen even faster than overall inflation in recent years. And inflation hits electricity in sneaky ways. Maintaining the grid costs more, upgrading equipment costs more, labor, transportation, materials, all more expensive. So even before we add in all the AI data centers, the baseline cost of keeping the lights on is higher. Third, our infrastructure in America was not made for this. Much of the US's electricity infrastructure was built in the 1960s and the 1970s. Ah, the good old days. A time when we had much higher taxes on high income earners, so we actually built things. Around 70% of our transmission lines are over 25 years old and nearing the end of their expected life cycle. Now the grid needs major upgrades, and those upgrades are expensive. And of course, utility providers recover those costs through charging more money. And when the data centers plug in, especially in regions like central PA, utilities don't just need more generation. They need stronger transmission lines, new substations, backup capacity to keep things reliable. And then, of course, you also have the tariffs, another man-made problem. A lot of the equipment needed to build or repair the grid relies on steel and aluminum. And tariffs on those materials can increase construction costs. So when utilities decide to upgrade our infrastructure, higher material costs often will get folded into that long-term electricity pricing. It's not the only cause, of course, but still obviously impactful. And lastly, we have extreme weather, hurricanes, wildfires, heat waves, major winter storms. When you're preparing for extreme weather coming in or repairing it afterwards, that obviously will cost money. In California, they had wildfire mitigation spending that was added to their cost of their electricity. Hotter summers in places like Texas have pushed their electricity usage and cost way higher over the last few years. And anecdotally, we just went through one of the worst snowstorms in recent memory here in central Pennsylvania. We were warned that outages for our electricity were likely. And wowzers, were they ever. So either you invest ahead of time because you know these things are coming, or you pay later. But both paths will affect your bill. And as a realtor, this all just kind of hurts my heart because rising utility costs will affect people's affordability when it comes to buying a house too. So here's the truth. There isn't one sole reason why electricity is cooked right now. It's a lot of things. Demand for electricity is exploding from things like AI and data centers, and also the just electrification of all household items. And our grid is old and it needs rebuilding. And then you have things like inflation that raise baseline costs, and also the tariffs mess with the cost of materials. And our extreme weather we've been having is not helping either. For years, electricity demand was flat and so investments were delayed. But now that demand for electricity is rising fast, those delays are really catching up to us. So yeah, you could say we did a lot of this to ourselves. And now we're paying the big boy bills. So here's my final thoughts. If we want lower electricity costs long term, the conversation isn't just, why is my bill so high? It's more like, who's going to pay for this massive amount of electricity that's being drawn from things like AI data centers? Are we investing in infrastructure early, or are we just reacting late? Are we enjoying enough Jake Paul AI slop videos? Because AI and electrification and energy demand are not slowing down. Those things are probably here to stay. And the grid has to keep up. I love you all. Zach is helpful, and good luck out there with your electric bill and all this electric grid stuff.